We are live. Today we're talking about energy consciousness. Let's get ourselves situated here. Nice of you to come. Whether you see this now or later, let's see what's going on. Hi, guys. We are live both on YouTube and on Instagram. We are talking about energy consciousness today. We are opening up to the energy. There's a retreat coming on in about a month, so we're starting to open up to the wisdom that is that is within, the wisdom that can allow us to continue to open up, to continue to allow us to harness and awaken to the energy within us. So I thought it was proper to call this talk energy consciousness. It is raining today. Just started a little while ago, but the sun came in pretty, but kind of heated up to, kind of fits nicely with the energy of these live talks, which literally has the intention of kind of opening up and letting yourself getting a bath. So when I talk about energy consciousness, it's because it is kind of, we are consciousness. So consciousness kind of represents awakening, if you may. And awakening is kind of what we are when we awaken, when we are born, we are awakened to consciousness. It is the perceiving of things. And then, but then within our body, we have all these memories, all these perceptions of the world. Our body is kind of this motor, this engine, this house of wisdom, all these perceptions. It's kind of a continuation of our consciousness. It is energy. And yet, this energy is something you either use or you lose. Not completely, but either you wanting to awaken it, or you are allowing it to become or be dead or remain dead, or depending on, you might already using it or running it or whatever you are doing it. So when people talk about awakening, a lot of times they are talking more about consciousness. And when people talk about chakras, they are actually kind of like the masculine. It's like they're looking at more the body more as stairs, that you have to step up these stairs to release your body, because you have to kind of remove yourself from the energy. We are energy and we are consciousness. So in the awakening, it's like when we become free from the body. So that's the masculine, that we think like we're just gonna up, out, like death. We go up, out, dying. We're free. Well, in the process, if you make a ladder or stairs, then you're kind of compressing. You're saying, I remove myself. I want to do the fastest way to a level of enlightenment. Then we say there is energy here, but I don't want to drink. I don't want to eat anything. I don't want to do anything, sex, or I don't want to have too many encounters. I want to just remove myself from the world. I want to become a monk. or none, or so what you're doing is you're kind of letting the energy, it's out there. So, but you're still using it to compress it, to climb. So you climb. So then we talk about the chakras, then it's like, oh, I'm aware here, and then I step up here, and then I am aware here, and then so those chakras are like small pieces of energy, aliveness, or consciousness. But then in between, there's nothing, it's deadness. It's compressed energy, it's kind of stagnant. So that is a one way of kind of climbing up the ladder. The other way, which is more feminine, it is more allowing yourself to be part of life. I mean, you're daring to activate this energy, because actually the energy is actually just a flow of water that goes through the whole thingy. So then you're allowing yourself to drink or eat or whatever. You're trying to like to enjoy life. So instead of just pushing it down, you're activating it. And then when it becomes active, it becomes alive, breathing life. And then it becomes a breath, it becomes a flow, it becomes like water. And then you can flow on it. So then it becomes a stream of livingness. So then you become the dolphin that flows in the water, that flows out. Yet that requires a completely different maturity, because you have to activate all this. You have to choose to dare to allow all the energies of the body to be seen. You have to dare to see life. You have to dare to experience it. You have to dare to feel. You have to dare to allow everything that is wrong or right, or all, like you have to dare to embrace it. You have to dare to flow with it. It's like more of a making love. So it is a different flow. It's a different way of awakening, because then you're kind of moving. You become the dolphin. You are the consciousness of the dolphin, and then you are flowing with life. And life is the sea. The energy consciousness is the sea, and you're flowing it, and you're enjoying it. You're not needing to be removed from the water. You don't have to just ascend to the heavens. It's not just about the afterlife, it's about life. But that also requires that you have to dare to look at the body and dare to be up and down. You have to dare to be in the genitals, you have to dare to be in the heart, you have to dare to be in the emotions, you have to dare to be in the mind. Like you have to dare to be in all of life, because there's many levels of suppressed, repressed energy. Because most people are just using it as a ladder. It is the easiest way. It's the way of survival. It's the way of just, let's just get out of here. So instead of getting out of here, we can awaken to body being, which is a totally different way of just awakening to the reality of life. So that means that you have to dare to have a choice. It's a different choice. So you have to dare to pull away and look at stuff, not just be like, I'm going to eat this, I'm going to that, that's wrong, that's right. Most of the teachings we hear is like from the mind of just, yes, if you see a child and you feel you're afraid of this child, you're going to be like, okay, let's just give them some strategies, like do this, survive this, avoid that. So it's the most basic of awakenings. That is what we actually do when we grow up. We have the most basic of awakenings. And yet people be like, oh, I'm 21 and I'm so good. I have my friends, I have money, and I have this and I have that. And then suddenly your friends suddenly go through some stuff, you go through some stuff, suddenly you don't have money because your parents say you have to make do be by yourself, so suddenly you have to actually become sovereign is not what somebody is when they're 20 or 16. Let's everybody vote when they're 16 because they're sovereign. No, they're not sovereign. They just have tasted a little bit of awakening. They're taste the first level of, oh, I am a human. And yet wisdom comes when you dare to flow in it and enjoy them, and you see the dolphin that just smiles and loves and work together. So this is a completely different level of awakening. It takes you through many levels of awakening, and but then it also takes time, and it's a different approach. It's not a the teacher and the student that's like up there and down there, and the guru, and everybody has to like, oh my god, praise everything. It is more of working together and flowing, and daring to simplify and daring to have fun with the process. Because look at the dolphin has fun. So it is not about taking yourself too seriously, because you have to literally become the stupidest person that is. Because in the process here, you actually will have to release your ego. You will have to come to terms with ego. It's not just about doing some kind of technique or breathing or yoga or something, and then just hopefully you release your ego, or you might wait till the next lifetime or the next lifetime, or on and on and on and on and on. Anyway, so that is kind of the potential to then awaken this energy, and then you actually become, it becomes your breathing, living being. You are the beingness that enjoys this energy, and this energy will take you through all kinds of emotions in the process. But then gradually the energy transforms, because the emotions, you release the depressions, the anxiety, the anger, all these things. You don't slap everybody anymore. You don't get offended all the time anymore. You don't get afraid of everybody anymore. You don't get sad if somebody says something. You more and more become stable in your sovereign self, where you actually become self-sovereign. And that is where you can become the dolphin, living the dolphin life, or the turtle life. Turtle is more on land, or the otter, both land and water, or just human being, both land, water, and air. So that is kind of why we're opening up these levels and talking about it, because this is the process of awakening to these different levels. And that's why we're talking about it, because you kind of need to become a little bit aware. Like if you're new here, you're probably wondering like, what is this, and how can I compare this to my previous experiences, my books, and all this stuff that is out there, which is mostly focused on like techniques. It's usually because that is the easiest way to kind of teach somebody. It's like, take these techniques and it will help you a little bit. It becomes a little therapy on the way. This is the opposite of therapy. This is about awakening to the grandeur of life, the grandeur of God consciousness, the grandeur of Christ consciousness, or to human consciousness, or to your infinite being. So yes. So close your eyes a little bit. Let's take it in a little bit. Let's become a little silent at the end. There is energy here. If you, whether it's the first time you're here, or you've been to this many times, this is just like the retreats. We're kind of allowing this to settle in. We're drinking off of the golden chalice. Yeah, so we just kind of actually just as we can look at this as with words, we also want to look at it with the body. The body's the unconscious parts of ourselves, the unconscious connections to our body to the energy, allowing that which is stagnant, that which is hidden away, to come forth, allowing it to dance, awaken, flow, swim, dance, play. Yeah, and then it kind of just becomes this open space of just that you can just ease into, ease, and just enjoy and sink into. Like you're lifting your hips a little bit, lifting your where you sit, and just kind of sink down into it. Let it kind of ooze into the matrix of the body, letting it kind of just trickle through like energy through the nervous system, through the cells, through the muscles, through the bones, through the ligaments, and just like a river, just opening up the hatch, and it just flows. Yeah, and then it kind of cracks through the system as it you just kind of open up your chest and yawn and let it through. Beautiful. If you're new here, we have these usually every Wednesday. Um, we also have a retreat coming up in a month's time, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. And yeah, um, or pop in and DM me if there's some questions, or give a little donation if you're really feeling called to it, that you received some wisdom today. And I hope you have a beautiful continual Wednesday. And a continual